All right, welcome, kings and queens. Wow, 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 y'all. Listen, what is going on in the streets of reality television? I have my little list today. I woke up, y'all. Listen, I had a cup of coffee. I did my morning prayers. I outlined my day. My content is structured regarding what I was going to cover. And honey, I'm going to have to push that to the side because as I'm scrolling in between conference calls, as I'm scrolling through my Instagram, y'all, I had to do a double take. And I was like, what? Hold on, wait a minute. Ralph files for divorce from Drew? What in the hell is going on? Y'all, are you shocked? I am. Wait. Are y'all shocked? Because I am. And here's the thing, 85% of divorces are normally initiated by women. So the first thing is my red flag went up. All the way up. And I'm like, So then my brain started ticking regarding Drew, Ralph, and I started going back through the X-Files. And what I mean by the X-Files, I did a complete replay in a matter of seconds of all of the things that we've seen them do, how they behave and engage with each other, and also some of their relationship history by way of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I started to check things off, right? I'm going through my mental checklist one by one. And then I said, well, let me look at this as a married woman. And then I came to the conclusion, oh, Ralph is in his feelings. For real. Before I go any further, let's talk about it, y'all. For those of you who are just tuned in, or if you're new to the channel, welcome to the palace. I am Queen Sheba. I cover a variety of hot topics specific to reality television. But most importantly, I hone in, honey, on the psychological and the behavioral traits of the Black experience. Let's get into it. Y'all ready? All right, let's talk about this. We gonna listen. You know what? We're going to be messy today. We normally don't do this in the palace, but we're about to get real messy. Listen, Ralph is in his feelings. That's the first thing that occurred to me, right? As a married woman. And I'm like, okay, this is abrupt, y'all. This was not planned. Something happened. So let's create a timeline. According to reports, Ralph filed for divorce from Drew Sidora today. Well, maybe the news was released today. And he listed their separation date as Thursday. So somebody pull up a calendar. All right. So today is March 1st. Something happened last Thursday. Okay. Something happened last Thursday. What happened, Ralph? What happened, Drew? Now, whatever it is, this is a knee-jerk reaction to whatever happened last week. Now, I do not know this to be true, but this feels like a very, very abrupt decision. Now, if I'm looking at this from a married woman perspective, the first thing that came to my mind is, hold on, Ralph. What you do? What did Drew catch you doing? And now you're turning the tables. I'm making all of this up, y'all. Trust me, this is just completely hypothetical. You're turning the tables and you're going to beat her to the punch and file for divorce before she does. So that's my first thing. What you do, boy? You over there doing something. And we know you doing something because you've done some things before. Let's start there. Can we all agree on that? What are your thoughts before I move on? All right, so we're gonna cover a couple of things. I'm trying to keep myself in line because this is an impromptu commentary because it just hit and it was right on time. First of all, we're gonna cover their history, the history of their relationship and the foundation. Number two, we're gonna cover women. We gotta do better. That's the second thing. Women, we've got to do better. The third thing is we're gonna cover what happens next. Okay? The foundation of the relationship. Women, we've got to do better. What happens next? Because there's a couple of ways this thing could play out. play out. I'm sorry. First things first, Ralph and Drew, in my opinion, based on the marriage I observed, their engagement, their interactions, more so from him to her, has always been shaky to me. Always been shaky. I remember at one point I was so disgusted by him and his behavior and his nonchalant attitude regarding his behaviors and his lack of accountability, just for doing what the hell he wanted to in a quote unquote marriage. Secondly, I used to look side eye at Drew, thinking to myself, you gonna let him treat you like this? And especially on camera, right? I've never gotten a feeling that Ralph was madly in love with Drew. I have gotten a feeling that Drew was desperate for Ralph. I'm not going to even call it love, because part of the engagement and the interactions that I would see displayed from Drew to Ralph were more out of desperation. And I'm like, girl, fix your crown, adjust your crown. Don't let this ninja make you cry at dinner. Eat your lobster and boss the hell up. That's what was going through my head a lot of times when he would evoke these emotions from her and talk to her crazy in therapy and stuff like that. So I've never seen this as a healthy couple. But also I've always wondered, why in the hell would you put up with that, Drew? You are beautiful. You can sing. We don't know what Ralph does. And if the truth be told, I ain't gonna say it. If the truth be told, I've been scratching my head quite some time regarding Ralph. Okay? Let me pause there. Women, for those of you that are just tuning in, y'all got to stop saving these men. It is not your job to save them. It is their jobs to save themselves. They are a man for a reason. Let them be men. And the day they decide to not be the man that you need them to be by way of how he treats you, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, your job is to get the hell up and walk the hell out. Women, we are doing way too much just to say, I got a man. I told you we were going to be real messy today. Drew, you chase this man. You chase this man. You chase this man. All for him to decide on March 1st, 2023, he don't want you no more and he wants a divorce. Now, here's what I mean when I say, Drew, you've chased him. You allowed this man. I'm going to say allowed. Because at some point, women, you do stay too long. At some point, when a marriage and or a relationship becomes toxic, when do you choose you and your well-being and give yourself permission to say, okay, I can't do this. As much as I want love, you got to start choosing yourselves. You have to. And if ain't nobody ever told you that, I'm going to tell you that today. As a married woman, you've got to choose yourself over and over and over again. And I don't mean no selfish type of choosing yourself. I mean pouring into you, being as healthy as you can be, because you can only be so good to those as you are to yourself. And when I say we've got to do better, that does not mean going back and forth with a man, arguing, putting on a display, being disruptive. You ain't got to say shit to let a man know I'm not the one. You get what I'm saying? What I'm saying? As a matter of fact, the less words, the more of an impact you have, more of an influence you have to drive his behavior in a positive way. Say less, do more, ladies. Now, here's the thing, Drew. You allowed this man to dog you out on camera. You allow this man to gaslight you, shame you for having emotions. There's a couple of times I wanted to come through that screen and slap the crap out of Ralph, just for the simple fact I felt like he was punishing her for being a woman, for having delicate and feminine emotions, right? Number two, Drew, you was going to allow this man to become a legal father over your child who already has a father, okay? For the sake of what? just to turn around and have him walk out his life like today. And that's what I mean, ladies, stop doing so damn much. You see what I'm saying? Think with the level head. Everything can't be based on an emotional decision. That would have been an epic fail for your son, Drew, had you pushed more and Ralph had caved in and actually signed those papers and took permanent guardianship over your son as his legal father. And maybe, just maybe, y'all, that's why Ralph was hesitant. You remember at that dinner on the Real Housewives of Atlanta on the group trip, he was very hesitant. Maybe he knew he had one foot out the door. I mean, because if we backtrack and we consider the timeline, the boy did go to Florida. The boy did go to Florida and refused to tell his wife who, what, when, and where. Who does that? I feel like Ralph has been behaving like an adolescent boy for quite some time, Drew. And that was actually your son and not your husband. I mean, if we really just lay it all out there. However, as shitty as it is for Ralph to file for divorce, you allowed that behavior. You should have pulled the plug on him a long time ago. If we talking chess and not checkers, you should have pulled the plug on him a long time ago when your assistant, who happened to be male, had more intel and more information on your husband than you did. For me, that's a little too close for comfort. You should have pulled the plug a long time ago when that Negro walked back in the house after being gone 3 days in Florida. And you didn't even know. Girl, stop it. That man was on vacation. With who? I don't know. Okay? But he wasn't alone. I guarantee you that. Because if you want to be alone, you go sit in the car in your garage. You take a walk around the block. Or you know what? You jump in your car, you go for a drive, you decompress, you de-stress, and you bring your ass back home. But that's not what Ralph did. Ralph has been acting out for quite some time. And here's where it gets tricky, ladies. Stop making a man tell you he don't want you more than once. Does he really have to say it? Or can we begin to decipher by way of his responses, his lack of engagement, his behaviors? The writing was on the wall, y'all. I'm sorry that this is happening to Drew, but at the same time, Drew, I think this is an opportunity for a new beginning. You got a lot going for yourself, and this just may be your $1 million ticket to paradise. Now, I don't know what happened, but I feel like Ralph has done something, and he's trying to, what do they call it, y'all? When somebody flip it on you. I forgot the phrase I'm looking for. Help me out in the chat. You know, have you ever been in an argument with a man and you know he did wrong, but he turns it on you and it becomes your fault? So I'm making up this scenario, but in my head, I'm suspecting that Ralph got caught doing something. It could be the other way around. I mean, I don't know. But I feel like Ralph got caught doing something and maybe Drew had a very, very strong reaction to it. You know, ladies, how we can cut up behind the scenes. You're not finna disrespect me, all of this and all of that. And maybe, just maybe, he utilized her reaction to his behavior and weaponized it and filed for divorce. Completely hypothetical scenario, but that's what I'm getting. What did he do? I don't know. Because he's done shit before. Didn't she have a conversation with him about not being in touch with the lady that offered to rub his back? He didn't see no problem with having close physical relationships outside of his marriage with women, texting. He's been a little boy. He's been a teenage adolescent boy for quite some time. Okay. What's done is done. Now, Drew, I'm about to put you up on game. And I know it's easier said than done. But listen to me. This is what we're going to do, Drew. I need you to not contest the divorce. Let him go. If he want to leave, let him go. Okay? Let him go. That's the first thing. The second thing is I need you to be as cool as a cucumber. It's going to hurt. But I need you to handle your emotions in private. Break down, cry, roll on the floor. Kick the bed, all that. But don't let him see it. Okay? Number 3, I need you to show up and show the hell out this season on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Pour your all into your role. The best revenge is success. Go for the throne as the queen of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let me tell you why I say that. You have an opportunity to turn this pain into purpose. Pour into your work. Sometimes the best outcomes come from when we're working while in pain. And I know you're going to want them, and I know it's going to hurt. I'm just saying handle it behind closed doors, but I need you to show up, girl, like the queen that you are. Like the woman you had no idea that you were, all while letting this man mistreat you. And then once you're healed, honey, I need you to start dating. Not seriously, but I just need you to start dating. I need you to start auditioning for movie roles. I need you to get back to singing and get back to doing the shit that made you great. Okay? A long time ago, I said the same reason people get the same reason people get married are also the same reasons they get a divorce. Ralph wanted you because you were great. And maybe, just maybe, somewhere along the lines, you stopped being great. Drew, it's time for you to be great again. Let him go. You'll get another one. Let him go.